Okay, folks, look, you done already seen the thumbnail. You know what we doing, right? We doing pulled pork. I really want to say this is like pulled pork 101. This is great for the beginner. It's very forgiving. You guys make one of these, I promise you. After you make this a couple of times, you ready for a brisket. Super easy. Let's get it. Okay, so you guys can see the ingredients that we're using. Really, we're just gonna have some barbecue sauce. All of that's optional, but these right here are gonna be the stars, right? It's gonna be about your seasoning, and that's where we're gonna get our profile, and we gotta have a binder, folks. Now, the full ingredient list is on my website. That's Smokin and Grillin with AB.com, and that's WITAB.com. Today, I'm gonna be using my RecTech RT1200 dual fire pellet grill. Okay, so look, now that we done went over and we talked about we're gonna be using the pellet grill for this right here. Now I want to show you, it's like a few tools you're gonna need. You're gonna need yourself something like a sharp knife like this, like a boning or a fillet knife, something that's a little bit flexible. But the main thing is we want it to be sharp. And then we're gonna need ourselves like a meat thermometer, right? This is mine. Most of you guys got one of these. For those of you guys that's out there that don't have it, let's go ahead and pick yourself up one of these. Now, first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and take my pork butt, right? Now, you guys can look at it, you can see it. Just these lines you see is just because I had it sitting on top of a cooling rack, right? But I'm gonna bring it over here on this side and I wanna show you something. You see this fat cap right here? We wanna take some of this down because we wanna make sure that we get the seasoning a little bit close to that meat, right? So I'll just take it and we'll just cut it. What I'm doing now is just trying to see just exactly how thick this is, right? So I'm trying not to score the meat, but if I do, that'll at least let me know how thick this is, and then we can just take some of this off. Like you see that right there? That's perfect. So with this pellet grill right here, it's super easy, right? I told you it has two zones, right? It's a dual fire, dual zone, pellet grill. So you got a zone that'll be over this way and one on this way. We're not going to use this one, we're going to be using this side. So it's real simple, push power. It's at 275, but we're not going to do 275. We're going to go ahead and drop this down to 250 degrees, and we're going to let that build up. See how it says actual right there? That's 86. That's what it is on the inside. Once that reaches 250, we golden. Okay, so look, as we building up, fire on our pellet grill, right? Now we're going to come over here. You guys just seen, I trimmed them. I could do a little bit more, but this is enough. And listen, to go into a little bit more detail why I trimmed it like that, because listen, after we take the time to put the binder on here and our seasoning, what happens then? At the end, if you give that big thick cap on there, all you're gonna do is all that's gonna slide off, and we wanna get some of that seasoning inside of this meat we got right here, right? So today I'm gonna be using, which in most times, I'm always using like a yellow mustard, you know what I mean? So this is the part where everybody say, man, I don't really like mustard, yada, yada, yada. Some people say they can taste it. I'm telling you, I don't. Everybody else around me, the binder has never ever come up, in the conversation, right? So I'm just turning it over. We're gonna work on the whole thing, but I just want to get it nice, and tacky, right? These are the three things that I'm gonna be using, to go ahead and get my seasoning, right? I'm using my barbecue rub. You guys have any type of barbecue rub or any type of flavor you want to put on there, that works. And then for you guys that have that B out there, I always put this on my heavier meats, right? This right here, this is the real secret weapon. Then if I'm looking to get a little color and bark, this is my own little blend right here. That's my pepper, salt, and a little bit of garlic in there also. It's a combination of all of this that's gonna go on here. This one right here is just really mainly, if you look at it right there, it's mainly just so I can get my bark. Okay, so look, I'm gonna be starting with my B, right? So I want you guys to just pay attention and look at how I hit this up, right? So when I put this on here, look at the coverage. You know what I mean? And you can look at the color. You know what I mean? If you gotta open it up some, that's okay. You know what I mean? At the end, we're gonna add a little bit more to it also. But you see that right there? And then I'm gonna lift this up over here like this, and we're gonna get it over here too. Right, oh yeah. Next, I'm getting ready to come with my barbecue rub. We start adding this on there. Now I go heavy with my B because that hits and contacts that meat, right? This right here is gonna give me that special little flavor that I'm looking for. All right, so now, this right here, when I say my little special blend, this is what I put on the actual brisket. You know what I mean? I'll put a little bit of this on here because I love the bark texture that it's gonna give me, right? Okay, so look, my pellet grill is up to temp. I'm gonna go ahead and open this up, put these in the inside. Now, I'm gonna start with my biggest one, and I'm gonna put it where it's at least the hottest. Okay, so I put my biggest one, that was over here. This is my hottest part of my, my grill. So I put that there. I put this one here, and both of these is like the fat cat cap up. I did not go ahead and cover no times or nothing like that in the very beginning, but I'm gonna let you know right now we coming up on about 4.5 hours, right? I don't look at it until about 4.5 hours, and I let the actual protein, which is my pork shoulders, right? These are gonna let me know, where we are and what we need to do moving forward, right? Now, we had 2 of them that were 2 different sizes, so I'm gonna open this up right now, and you guys can look at it. All right, now if you look right here, you can see the size difference, right? So I can see right here, if you look right there, it's starting to dry just a little bit. I'm gonna make me up something, to go ahead and spritz just to get just a little bit more moist. We're gonna continue that, but I'm gonna stick this in here right now in this bigger piece right here, right? We're gonna look at that. You see how right there, we're saying 150 degrees. Let's get another spot. We're gonna take a look. This one says 156, right? I like to, before I put this in a pan, I like to see this become 165 to 170 degrees, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and close this, and I'm not gonna come back out here. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna put a little spritz, which means I'm going to spray, right there and just check. I might do a little rotation. And other than that, we're gonna come back and we'll look at this in about another hour. Now, look, I wanna show you this part right here. When I stick this in here, you're not gonna really be able to see it in here like that. I just hit the bone and down there, so I'll back it up just a little bit. And that right there say 176, we're a little high, but this is the smaller one. This just went in like butter. You know what I mean? That's a little high for me, but that's fine. I don't want to lose no more juices. We're going to capture that. When I drop it in there, that's what I like to feel. And look at that, folks. This is the thicker piece of the meat, 165.7, right? I'll check it one more time. Oh, that's like butter. I already know this right here is cooked and rendered. Look, that's a little high. We're only going to go to about 202. So now we get ready to take these off. Okay, so now that we done pulled them out like this, right, I put on another glove, because listen, I'm gonna show you guys a little trick that I do. You know what I mean? This makes a difference. We're gonna go ahead and put a couple of pats of this butter right here on the top. Now, you know how like I do my, how I do my ribs? We could add a little brown sugar onto this also. But we're just gonna add it on just like that. Okay, so listen, this is where we at right now. Everything is completely wrapped up in the trays. I bumped up my temperature. My temperature is up to 275 degrees. I'm gonna put these in right now. We get ready to render down any more fat in there, and then we're gonna rehydrate that meat as we pull out that bone as it cools, right? So real simple, folks. Okay, so now we'll come back and we'll check it. We're gonna probe it so that it's like butter, right? Like I said, we're gonna check it in about an hour. You know what I mean? Then we go from there. We was kind of close, so I'm going to check this one right now about every 30 minutes. That'll be the safe way. You know what I mean? Because when we get to 202 to 205, we want to take it out, and then we're going to let it, manually come down nice and slow. That's how we're going to let it rest. Okay, so look, I've already checked everything, right? Listen, both of these, one is at 203 and the other one's at 206. I've already, I would like to get them out at both at 203. So this is what we're going to do. I've already powered down. I'm getting ready to take these, put them on a tray, and I'm gonna take them in the inside. I'm probably gonna lay a, like a towel over the top just so that it can come down on its own, right? We gotta get it where we can at least touch it, and then I'm gonna show you how we're gonna go ahead and shred this down. Like I said, it has cooled enough. So look, when you do the bone-in version of this, should come out and just slide out of here nice and smooth, right? So as I pull this out, I just pull it like this. All right, so now you can just get in here, you know what I mean? Let me just take this piece right here. Man, it just breaks open. You know what I mean? Look at that. You can see the smoke. You see all of that? Oh my goodness. I'm just gonna go ahead and just get these pieces in here, let them start to cool on their own, right? All right, so here you can see, you can actually keep shredding and, to your heart's content. But you know what, instead of having all of the stringy pulls and all of that, what I like to do is, you see when I get it like this, I shredded some of that bark too. Look at that, you can see that deep color. That right there. And listen, I ain't gonna lie to you, I've been eating it too. Once I got it, like this, I like to go ahead and add some more rub to it also. So, look at that down there. I just add some here on the top. You just wanna get it down. All right, so this is what we'll be using, my sweet and savory barbecue sauce right here. You know what I mean? So now let's go ahead and just add a little bit to it. Now, this part completely optional to everybody. You do not have to add this. Okay, folks, so you saw just how easy it is. Listen, I don't want to over talk it. You know what I mean? Doing a pork shoulder, pork butt, whatever way you want to call it. It really gets your confidence up. After you made this a couple of times, I believe you got your legs underneath you, so you can go ahead and try brisket. You know what I mean? So this, ribs, and then brisket, and then after that, you got it. All right, so with that being said, listen, if you're new to my channel, let me take this time to say thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, smash that subscribe button, and just tell everybody out there is a channel out here that's simplifying these recipes and taking the mystery out of cooking. And you know how I usually leave out of here, folks. I'm gonna go ahead and take a dash over here to my right, and I'm out. Peace.